After months of travel through the wilderness, guided by the cloud and fire, Israel came to the threshold of promise. At Kadesh Barnea, on the southern edge of Canaan, they stood before the land sworn to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. What should have been a moment of faith and fulfillment became instead a crisis of unbelief. At the Lord's command, Moses sent 12 men, one from each tribe, to spy out the land, Numbers 13:1-3. They journeyed for 40 days, exploring from the wilderness of Zin to the northern reaches near Lebo Hamath. The land was indeed as God had promised, flowing with milk and honey. They brought back fruit so abundant that a single cluster of grapes had to be carried on a pole between two men, Numbers 13:23. But along with the fruit came fear. 10 of the spies declared that the cities were fortified, and the inhabitants, Anakim, descendants of giants, were too strong to defeat. "We seem to ourselves like grasshoppers," they said, "and so we seem to them." Numbers 13:33. Only Caleb and Joshua stood firm. "Let us go up at once and occupy it, for we are well able to overcome it." Numbers 13:30. That night, despair spread through the camp. The people wept, murmured against Moses and Aaron, and cried, "Would that we had died in Egypt or in this wilderness." They even spoke of appointing a new leader to return them to Egypt. Numbers 14:2-4. Unbelief had erased memory, replacing the miracles of deliverance with the illusions of fear. Moses and Aaron fell on their faces, while Joshua and Caleb tore their garments and pleaded with the people. "The land is exceedingly good. If the Lord delights in us, he will bring us into it. Only do not rebel against the Lord, and do not fear the people of the land." Numbers 14:7-9. But the congregation threatened to stone them. Then the glory of the Lord appeared. God declared that the people had rejected him despite all his signs and wonders. His judgment was swift. None of that generation, 20 years and older, except Caleb and Joshua, would enter the promised land. The rest would die in the wilderness over 40 years, a year for every day the spies explored the land. Numbers 14:34-35. Moses again interceded, pleading for pardon based on God's covenant mercy. The Lord spared the nation but confirmed the consequence. When the people heard it, they mourned deeply and, in presumption, tried to go up and fight on their own. But without the presence of the Lord, they were defeated. The hope of immediate entry into the land was lost. A new era began, 40 years of wandering, discipline, and dependence. God would still lead them by the cloud, feed them by manna, and dwell among them. But that generation would not taste the inheritance they had refused to believe in. The failure at Kadesh Barnea stands as one of the great turning points in Scripture. The promise of God was sure, but faith was required to enter it. In their fear,